All right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
I don't know why that's always so satisfying to do the clap.
Because it feels like legit.
It does.
It feels like we're doing something and this is like going to be amazing.
3, 2, 1. Wow, rude.
I didn't clap. I thought you were doing it as an example.
I was like, I want to do it again.
Welcome to Vamonos Pod, a Breaking Bad, and this time, Better Call Saul fancast. Join us, two obsessive bisexuals, as we break down each episode week by week, diving into every little detail and leaving no stone unturned. This podcast contains strong language, mature themes, and spoilers for all current seasons of both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. So if you're not up to date with either of the shows, I don't know what you're doing. Go watch them, weirdo. Hello and welcome back to Vamonos Pod. My name is Del and my pronouns are she, her, and this is my co-host.
I'm Dom. My pronouns are usually they, them.
And today we're going to be diving straight into season 1, episode 1 of Better Call Saul.
Uno.
Based on our mutual love for anything that Vince Gilligan breathes on, we have decided to also cover the, let's say, sister show of Breaking Bad, a prequel.
The little sister, or the older sister.
No, the older sister.
The older sister.
Better Call Saul is the older sister. Also created by Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould. And in this episode, we're going to be covering season 1, episode 1, Uno, not called Pilot. I wonder why they broke. I guess it's not really like a pilot. It's like, it's a continuation of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, I suppose it is the pilot because it's the first episode, but I don't think they had to pitch the episode on its own.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the episode so we can immerse ourselves into it and know a bit of backstory, and then we can start going through the episode event by event.
Oh, Del, you about to hit us with some facts.
This episode is called Uno. It was directed by Mr. Vince Gilligan himself, written by Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould, and someone named Gordon Smith, who is credited as staff writer. Go, Gordon. You made it.
You did it, Gordon. We're so proud of you.
Here we have a return of several of our Breaking Bad characters, such as Bob Odenkirk as Saul Goodman, but as we know him in the early seasons of Better Call Saul as Jimmy McGill. We have Jonathan Banks as Mike Ehrmantraut, and some other characters that we'll get to
eventually.
This episode broke the record for a TV premiere with 15.8 million viewers for a cable television premiere.
Just cable by itself.
Yes. Damn. And that record has now been broken by a TV show called 1883, which is a prequel show off of Yellowstone. That I think that broke it with about almost 20 million, something like that. I didn't get the right numbers on that.
Suck it, Jimmy.
It is clear to know that this episode was already a big deal in its premiere. It was, Breaking Bad fans were eager to jump on this. It was
understandably.
It was thank you for the crumbs. Thank you.
I think it was the best character to make a spin-off about.
I think so. I totally agree.
Also there was so much more stuff to do with that. You have to take this dirtbag lawyer who's mostly comic relief, but also just a generally sleazy guy, and then you roll him back to when he had some dignity,
and even then it's being generous.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I remember thinking about it when I heard there was a spin-off. I was like, really? It seemed not that I didn't want it, but it seemed ideally the quote-unquote last character that they would have considered, because there were just so many people to look into. And yeah, but at the same time, it's the perfect one for so many reasons that I think we'll get into when we talk about the episode.
Yeah, I think a lot of spin-offs will take like the most cool
Beloved.
character, something that has a lot of like excitement and drama involved, like I think the Vampire Diaries, their spin-off was about some like ancient bitches in like the 1400s or something.
Yeah, well, even like the spin-off of Sons of Anarchy is the Mayans. This is the Mayans
Right.
MC or something. And that kind
Is
of...
that the Mayans, or is that another motorbike
No, that's
club?
that's the name of another.
Okay, right. It's like, well, that's a serious prequel.
That would be so funny if they just talked about the Mayan like community in Western America.
This is set 1,000 years before Sons of Anarchy, but we're gonna occasionally make references to Sons of Anarchy.
Just like
It's a
carved out
prequel, we
motorbike
promise.
in South America.
It mainly revolves through the use of a B plot. An ancient Mayan engineer who is designing the first motorbike. He's years before his time and eventually will be forgotten, tragically.
But no, it was a spin-off of the Mayans MC, which was another motorcycle group gang that they just interacted with, and it kind of went down a similar road of like, could you make a spin-off of this? And they did. But, you know, it doesn't hit the same as Better Call Saul does, which we will also get into.
I think one of the reasons it works so well is that they didn't take off with a concept that was as crazy and like action-driven as Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the appeal that got people interested in the pilot was, oh shit, there's meth and there's drug busts and there's car chases and someone's catching on fire and now he's poisoning a bunch of guys. And this one's like, there he is defending some kids in court or whatever, and he's got some drama with his brother, and that has the same weight.
It truly does. I remember you telling me that. We were talking about it like over Snap or something, and you said...
I think this was...
Yeah, what did you say?
I think I said something along the lines of, despite the fact that nobody ever blows up any buildings in this, the drama is actually more compelling than Breaking Bad's drama and just as compelling as the action sequences.
I totally agree. Definitely. Especially because I just started rewatching it. I'm on the 3rd season. And I completely and utterly agree. And I think Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan, I read like an article and they said from the beginning they didn't want to make Breaking Bad 2.0. And I think that's a little bit about what people were expecting. But I'm incredibly surprised that the audience of Breaking Bad really do like Better Call Saul. And we're like, okay. Oh, okay. That's what I feel like the consensus is anyway.
Yeah, it's like if they made The Penguins of Madagascar and it was like a biting noir satire or something.
I watched that in theaters.
Was that a film?
Yes.
They got a movie?
Yes! And Benedict Cumberbatch played the wolf.
What? I thought this was a small-time show.
No. They also made a show, but they made it into a movie, and Benedict Cumberbatch is in it, and John Malkovich is in it.
What the fuck? We've talked about like 4 TV shows, and pretty much none at all about Better Call Saul. How long have we been recording?
About 10 minutes. It's okay.
Okay.
But anyway, you're right. We should get back to Better Call Saul. Fun fact, the street that Jimmy lives on is the same as Gale's in Breaking Bad. On his check that he is holding here, it actually says, you can't really see here, but in the scene he puts it against the glass, and you can actually see that he lives at 160 Juan Tabo NE. Nevada, I guess. But fun fact. A coat and hat are seen in the background of this episode, which looks suspiciously like the outfit worn by Walter White. And then on the trivia it said Walter White, and then in brackets, Bryan Cranston's drug peddling alter ego, Heisenberg. Okay,
alright, okay. Alter ego. That's fun.
But yeah, and I took wait, let me see if I can show you. I actually took a screenshot, and here it is. And you can actually see it in the episode. Can you see it?
This is a fun and deliciously low risk Easter egg.
But yeah, this is the scene, and there it is.
There it is. Oh my god, is that him?
Is that Walter White's alter ego Heisenberg?
Is Heisenberg in the building?
Next to the trash where he belongs.
I'm going.
Also, you're frozen.
Am I frozen? Shit,
Yeah, could you turn your camera off and then turn it back on? But I can hear you.
Okay. Should we continue until
yeah,
otherwise?
I can still hear you, so it's okay.
All right, cool.
You just look kind of insane. I'll send you a snap. Yes, so his alter ego is in the scene hanging from the coat rack.
Wonderful stuff.
This is actually a really interesting fact, and I think you'll find it interesting too. Miriam Colin, who plays Tuco's grandmother, played Tony Montana's mom in Scarface. This makes her at least the third actor from Scarface to appear in Breaking Bad and the Better Call Saul universes. The others were Stephen Bauer and Mark Margolis in season 5 of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Yes. And in season 5 of Breaking Bad, Walt was watching the film Scarface with Holly and Walt Jr.
He fucking was, wasn't he?
We open with a Cinnabon. It is all in black and white. Which Saul says, I guess Jimmy, but Saul says to Walt toward the end of season 5, I could be a manager of a Cinnabon in Nebraska for all I know.
Best case scenario, I'll be managing a Cinnabon in fucking...
In Nebraska. Omaha. And there's it cuts to a sign.
And that is exactly where Nebraska. He is, which is the funniest shit ever. Omaha.
So we had some technical difficulties, computers, you know how it be, and then we went on a long tangent talking about the new Machine Gun Kelly and Willow song,
trash.
It's trash. We won't repeat what we said, and then we went into a long tangent about Ed Sheeran's impact on the music industry. It was a very it was a long.
So we can cut this out.
Yeah. We'll cut that out.
Okay,
anyway, I think we were talking about
the opening
the Cinnabon,
shot,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So wait, let's acknowledge that you now have a change of background.
Okay. I'm in a skate park. It was very hard to find me.
So, I just want to say this scene where he is a manager in an Omaha Cinnabon. This made me so hungry. It made me want a Cinnabon.
Oh, it did. I found it really funny on two levels, because not only are we opening the Breaking Bad spin-off with a cooking scene, but we're also we're opening up to referencing a throwaway line that he makes at the end of Breaking Bad about how his best case scenario is that he'd be managing a Cinnabon in Omaha, and that's exactly where he fucking is.
Exactly.
And he's the most depressed he's ever looked.
He is. He does look depressed, and also it gives us a good frame of mind of when this scene is taking place.
Yeah, it's a great setting.
And also, another fun fact that I've weaseled into here is that one of the reasons why it's black and white, other than to set a certain time frame, is that there is a black and white movie called Nebraska that came out in 2013 that stars Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, I love Nebraska. This ain't worth a hill of beans in this crazy Nebraska. Have a cinnamon bun.
Have a cinnamon bun?
Kill me.
So yeah, I think he goes home and then he watches some of his old commercials from
He watches TV for a bit, and then he digs into an old shoebox and watches his ads. And I really like the touch, which I never noticed until just rewatching it a couple hours ago, that although this entire sequence is in black and white, the one little glimpse of color is the TV's reflection in his glasses as he's watching his ads.
Didn't notice that.
Me neither, until just this afternoon.
Crazy. Very good.
Really, really good little bit of editing there.
It kind of reminds me of season 2 of Breaking Bad with the bear.
Oh, the bear, yeah.
But that's a Schindler's List reference, but we'll get into that when we...
What? We will get there. Right.
We'll get there. So then we get a new intro for the show. We get that kind of shitty green screen, neon, like late 90s, early 2000s
VHS
look.
shit.
VHS, like very, very, mimicking his like weird commercials that he ended up making. And I just wrote, it also opens with the inflatable Lady Liberty that is on top of his office at some point.
Yes,
when he gets
I really like the intro sequences of this show because they switch it up each episode a little bit.
I love how in both the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul episodes it just results in us singing the introduction. The opening of this show, flashback to 2002, I think it's set.
Yes, I think we're in 2002 now.
We have a court scene.
Yes.
I didn't just write this, but the first thing I wrote was I wrote the opening trial scene, and I wrote, this 6-minute opening does what Breaking Bad does in the first 20 minutes of the first episode. Because this whole scene is 6 minutes long.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It is beautifully done.
Yes. So we're going to break this down. Can you help me break it down so that we can fully get into it? Because I truly think it's one of the best scenes in this episode. So good.
The reveal is beautiful. So we open with the court. Everyone's sat around waiting for someone. There's a guy drawing a centaur.
Oh yeah.
I wrote that down and I didn't really know what to do with that information because it never comes up ever again. But someone there is just doodling an entire centaur. I don't know what it means.
Me neither. But lovely little bit of inclusion there.
Do write in if you have any ideas.
Yeah, it's a quiet courtroom. Everyone's waiting for someone to show up. There's a jury on the right, I guess, left-hand side of the room. Small jury. And a defendant row of about 3 young, post-pubescent young men. And they're all waiting for someone till I think the judge sends out the security guard.
Yes.
To go and get...
the bailiff goes off.
The bailiff, that's what
into the bathroom. Completely empty. Shot the ground. Urinals.
Yes. Then Saul Goodman, aka James McGill, aka Slippin' Jimmy, but we'll get into that.
James
rehearsing,
M. McGill
James
Esquire.
M. McGill Esquire is rehearsing his opening statement, basically. He's
just rehearsing to himself to a wall like I do before I speak to people.
He's then escorted into the courtroom by the bailiff, and he begins his sales pitch.
To be young. I also noted that when he walks in, he sort of pushes the tiny little pair of doors in like he's walking into a saloon in a western, and it's so ineffective. It's beautiful. It's the least impactful thing you could do walking into the court, and I love it.
So he kind of goes on this spiel about whatever these young men have done.
These lads, they've made mistakes. Go on.
Yeah, they've made mistakes. What were we like at their age? I know that if I were held accountable for the things I did when I was 19, I would be in for way worse. And I think this is truly setting off like the fact that Jimmy is a salesman. Like the way that he is like lawyers basically is through the lens of someone that's trying to sell someone a story, sell you a product. And that feels very true to the character that we know him as in Breaking Bad.
He is.
And so I think that was very important to tell us that this is how he's always approached being a lawyer, is to essentially sell you a not guilty sentence.
And then once he's done,
yeah,
and he's
the opposing attorney doesn't even say anything.
He gets up, he says nothing. He stares at everyone. He goes, he gets the TV, he puts the TV on, he stares at them.
No, the best part is when he turns the TV, there's one man in the crowd, and I thought he was getting up to leave.
Oh yeah, I remember that as well.
But he doesn't get up to leave. He gets up to, because the opposing attorney turns the TV towards the jury, so the jury can watch it. So the people in the court, like crowd, can't see it. So I thought he was getting up to leave, but he's actually getting up to walk around.
Yeah, and then the next shot you see, there's like half a dozen or so people, or sort of crowd, slowly building up on the side where they can see the TV.
They all end up walking around to watch.
Beautiful.
And Dom, I want you to tell us what is on the TV.
It's unclear for storytelling reasons, and also for not like, you know, getting the show taken off every channel. These poor young lads. I feel like I'm one of those people who defend school shooters. Like, come on, you've got to give them another chance. He just burned down a church, man. Come on, like he was gonna go to Harvard, and then I'm just gonna quote Mrs. Nguyen. They had sex with a head.
They had sex. They broke into a biology department at a university.
A morgue, right?
A morgue, was it?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, it was a morgue.
Right?
Because I thought it was a biology department because Jimmy's argument was that it was open 24 hours.
Oh, right. I don't know. Maybe it was a morgue.
Would a morgue be shut? I don't know. Maybe.
Americans.
It was some kind of facility that holds dead bodies.
They break into a place that got a corpse in it. And...
Yes. They decided to film themselves doing it. And one of them, it's implied heavily that one of them starts to receive... How do you put this? He basically takes the dead body of an old man, like an elderly man, and shoves his dick down the throat of this dead man body. I'll put a disclaimer in the beginning of this episode. And receive a blowjob from a dead body.
Okay. We've all made mistakes in the past, but if everyone was held account for having sex with a head, then we wouldn't have any British prime ministers, is all I'm saying.
Oh.
We've got to let bygones be bygones.
I get... for a second, I was like, do you want to cut that out? But I realized that you live in a democracy, so it's fine. You can keep that in.
Yes. I am allowed to criticize my government.
Yes, they do end up filming themselves having oral intercourse with a corpse, and then they remove the head from its shoulders, and they go, oh my god, the head.
They cut it off, and oh god, it's grim.
They don't actually show this. It's like it kind of cuts away.
They don't, yeah. They cut away, and then
you just hear him go, "Yo,
Josh,
I can feel his throat," like some shit like that.
Oh, it's horrible. The way that Jimmy is also like, he's sort of sat at the end of their table, and he's like with his legs crossed. You're just like looking over them like, hey, don't worry. He's just playing mind games on you. You're gonna be fine. The nerves of steel.
Oh my god.
That this guy's got to act like that ain't the most fucked up thing he's ever seen.
And again, like I said, this 6 minutes does what the pilot of Breaking Bad does in 20. It truly does. It gives you an idea of what the tone of the show is, about Jimmy's character, about how he is treated in like the, you know, how he approaches his defendants, the kind of pro bono work that he's doing. It's truly like, and like it wouldn't have been the same if the kids just like committed some kind of petty crime.
Yeah.
It's a very kind of, you know, macabre, grotesque thing that I think Breaking Bad has, but it's on such a juvenile level, and it's so it just made me go, oh my god, I can't wait to keep watching this. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Now you got me thinking about the sex toilet, but we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
There's
my god.
that sort of weird shit where it's like every
feels
10th
like-
person in Albuquerque is like a fucking Parks and Recreation extra. It's
literally,
insane.
I was gonna say, it feels like this town is like a weird town of people. You know what I
It's
mean?
dead ass. This is like porny. Like,
Yeah, we get a clue of the year it is because he puts this checkup. My background is currently Jimmy holding a checkup to a glass. On it, I think it says 2002. And then he makes like a big deal about it not being as much money as he thought it was going to be. He thought it was going to be $700 per defendant.
You wanted to be paid $7 per client, and that's just like the woman there's just like, that ain't how it work, honey. And he just like berates her, and she's like, "You have yourself a nice day."
Yes, and we also get the Walter White Heisenberg coat and hat on the hanger.
There's a cinematically important coat and hat.
Then he goes outside to his car, and I love the shot of the car. I love that it has a shot of the white Cadillac.
You've got the nice car, and then we pan over
to his shitty. What kind of car is it?
An Esteem.
I don't know cars. Okay, it's that.
I don't know cars either.
And it's bright like mustard yellow with a red door replacement.
The perfect car for this guy.
The perfect car. It really has this color palette. You know what I mean? Like when I think of Breaking Bad, I do think of that kind of yellowy redness, like McDonald's, like the McDonald's color palette. You know?
Just because you're hungry watching Breaking Bad.
I do get hungry watching Breaking Bad. The Cinnabon scene fucked me up, bro.
It's like Cinnabon, and then pizza going to waste on a roof, and even the meth looks delicious.
The meth looks yummy.
And then suddenly the bad guy is a fucking chicken restaurant, and that's every day. Oh, delicious.
The meth looks like Pop Rocks every time I see it.
It looks so nice.
It makes me think like if I put it on my tongue, it'll like pop across my tongue.
That just reminded me of my favorite bit of Breaking Bad trivia.
What?
Was that the meth on set was just sugar with dye in it.
Oh.
And Aaron Paul would always be eating the sugar, and he kept, like, every new cast member, he got them to eat some of the meth.
That's cool. That's so
awesome.
Good. I want to eat sugar meth, please. Oh my god.
He's just like, he's just walking on set and he's eating the meth out of the tray. Legend.
So then we get, Jimmy gets a phone call from Mrs. Kettleman, to which he pretends to be like...
He pretends to be like a shitty British.
No, is it British? I thought it was like... is he supposed to be Irish or English? Or like a kind of like...
It's not clear.
The New Atlantic accent. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
It was very, very weird. I was like, is he trying to be British? I don't know.
The fact that he signs off the call saying cheers implies to me that
yeah, that's a good
maybe
point.
he is actually trying to be British, which is the funniest shit.
But he just says cheers.
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 Officers of James M. McGill, Esquire, a law corporation.
Did you feel insulted as an English person?
Nah, we deserve every piss take English accent I hear on is the funniest shit in the world to me. I hate the English.
I hate the English.
Fuck the English.
As a colonized person, I hate the English too.
Yeah, we did, like, any British person who's like, oh, we always get made fun of, but you deserve, this is exactly what we deserve. This is the least we could.
Also, I love one part of like his little, assistant thing is that he does like a little hand gesture while he's doing it. He's
in character.
He's fully in character. He's like, hello. He's got like a little like
fucking method acting. It's beautiful.
So then he gets back. He's apparently meeting Mrs. Kettleman at some kind of cafe on the corner of XYZ. Then he gets back in his car and tries to leave the courthouse. And then we see fucking Michael Ehrmantraut.
The mic reveal.
The mic reveal is so satisfying because I had no fucking idea he was going to be in this early.
Me neither. He just I'd seen that he was going to be in it. I assumed it would be, oh look, he's on the poster with spoiler alert, Gus, like as a future season thing. And then he just shows up as a car park attendant, like, you don't have enough stickers. And the guy's like, you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, this guy kills people sometimes. When he's, oh, wait, no. He says, he's like, I was in there and I was saving lives. And Mike says, thank you for saving my faith in the judicial system. Which, with context, is the funniest fucking thing. That a man who moved interstate in order to evade the police after he murdered 2 cops who killed his son.
Oh, more on that later. Holy shit. Amazing introduction to this character. Brilliant. But also, like, it's a very, like, I like seeing Mike, especially in this first few episodes, just be like, Mike.
He's just a guy. Like, at this point, he is not yet Mike Ehrmantraut of Breaking Bad. He is just a side character who he's barely even pop. He's just like an extremely like terse man who works in the car park and slightly inconveniences Jimmy.
I know.
It's beautiful.
I would. He's like, though.
Oh, right, you need more stickers. Fucking breaks down over it. It's the most embarrassing thing ever. No wonder Mike never respects him. I have to back up
because I need more stickers.
He's so funny.
Then after that, he ends up, we assume, getting enough stickers to leave. He meets the Kettlemans.
He gets enough stickers.
Yeah, he meets the Kettlemans at the cafe.
I love the Kettlemans.
I love the Kettlemans so much.
I think if they'd made El Camino about the Kettlemans, it would have been better received. It was just a self-contained totally story about Mr. and Mrs. Kettleman and their caper. Fucking wonderful. Their dynamic is incredible.
I wish they were on it for a bit longer. They're too good.
Really? They are really good.
Mr. Kettleman has been charged for embezzlement?
Yes.
Embezzlement.
He's the treasurer of the, whatever.
I don't know. He's been accused of stealing large portions of cash.
Yeah. What's important here is that he didn't do it.
Yeah, he didn't do it, guys.
He didn't. No way. He's innocent. He is not a criminal.
No.
One of my best tropes in the show. People who are like, I didn't do any crime. Like, they're standing in front of their crime evidence. It's wonderful.
So Jimmy's trying to persuade them to have them hire him as his lawyer to defend him in trial. Has it gone to trial yet? I don't think so. Because I remember...
I think they're just being, like, investigated at the moment.
Yeah, they're being investigated, and because he bought a boat, right?
Yeah, they are they're so shit at it. It's amazing.
They buy a boat, and that's what drew the attention to them.
Yeah, I think it probably would.
And, so then... Jimmy's like, you're gonna need a lawyer, look, and like people are looking at you right now. And then Mrs. Kettleman,
Mrs. Kettleman, absolute girl boss.
Absolute girl. She is the epitome of girl boss, gaslight, and gatekeep. She's all three.
It's perfect. This is the funniest shit ever. I love her. I love her to death. She honestly, like, if you gave them as much like screen time as you gave Walter White, she would turn into a fucking crime lord. She was on the edge of a fucking like cliff.
So she's kind of running the show.
There is no doubt about that. She's like,
she read Macbeth in high school and it changed her life. She was like, I'm Lady
she
Macbeth.
took all the wrong lessons home from Macbeth. She read the first half and she was like, that's all I need to know, baby.
So she's definitely the more quote-unquote dominant one, and also the crime lord in this, and it's very clear that they're guilty of what he's being accused of. And she insists that they don't need a lawyer because getting a lawyer makes them look guilty, and Jimmy's kind of like, nope, you're gonna need one, trust me, that's what everyone else says. Basically because he wants their business, but I think he does have a point as well, because they're very clearly guilty. Yeah, he's
totally right. Yeah. They're fucked. They will be fucked.
Yeah, so then there's kind of this back and forth, like, hire me, please, and then
he's about to sign, and he's like staring at the pen with like such
there's like a shot
almost
of, like...
lust, yeah. And then the hand just comes in and stops the pen. She's got that, like, they're both wearing blue, the color of the law, I think. I've never read into it. This is only my personal like interpretation of the color theory in Better Call Saul, but blue is like the color of the law and goodness and righteousness in this show, and whenever someone's wearing blue, that's like the front that they're putting across. And I find it interesting that
the HHM is blue.
Yeah, like Howard's suit, Kim most of the time.
She does wear a lot of blue.
Mm.
I've never thought about this.
You haven't? Oh, I cannot wait to talk for literally like hours about the color theory and in this show, because I think it's even like better defined than Breaking Bad does it.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Better Call Saul is it feels like if Vince Gilligan just refined Breaking Bad a little.
He really did just like
he took a breath
it up a little
went,
bit
all right,
more.
Let me just shave off the edges a little bit. Let me just
and be like, okay, hold on, my like the most important woman in my show, we're actually going to pay attention to her career
and not have
no shade on Breaking
of...
Bad, but like we never find out anything about Skylar book,
never writes that book.
We never get the book.
So then Kettlemans leave and Jimmy drives back pretty pissed off. He's on the phone to someone to send flowers to the Kettlemans.
Yes, he's ordering flowers from some company on a card that is getting rejected.
Yes.
He's trying to buy flowers he's asking for flowers that look as expensive as possible while being as cheap as possible.
Yes. And then, so anytime in any movie show, if they're using a long take wide in a car, I'm like, someone's getting hit. Something is gonna
go wrong in this car. Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, when I first watched this episode ever, I was enjoying the episode so much that I didn't even notice that it was a wide and like something was gonna happen. I was just
you were just completely
engrossed in the story. That little thing that goes off in your brain that goes, oh, something's gonna happen, didn't even go off. So I had the fucking fright of my life when one of these two twin young men crashed into the windscreen.
You got jump scared by the Skater twins.
I did. Jimmy kind of swerves the car and pulls over. And what did I wrote?
This is when he gets his what a surprise birthday moment, because shock horror in his face.
True, oh my god, both episodes have like a shock moment like that.
I like that the jump scare in Better Call Saul is he hits somebody with his car, and the jump scare in Breaking Bad is that there are people in his house. That his family is home waiting for him.
Also, this is the first of many times wind screams are broken throughout both of Better Call Saul.
This is a constant motif of wind screens being broken.
Truly is. Then I said the funniest part about this is that not only is Jimmy like so fucking shocked, he's in tears, like near tears, and he pulls over and he has a moment where he goes like yes.
Yeah, like... he's honestly like, this is like the last fucking straw for him today, and then he's like panicking, and there's sort of guys around like mowing their lawn, and he's like freaking out, and these kids are fucking milking it. It's amazing.
Yeah, they start they just start going, dude, my brother, like I got it all on video. Gosh, he's gonna need to go to the doctor. Like he's gonna need some money. And as soon I think
as soon
Jimmy...
as he says, he's like, how do I make this right? And he's like, $500. And Jimmy just like, flicks a switch in his brain where he's like, motherfucker.
And I like that he just kicks his leg.
He just goes right back into the confidence. He kicks the fuck out. He's like, dipshit.
And what I love about
wonderful
that is he goes,
fucking.
What do you think you're doing, Starlight Express?
It's a.
Do you know what Starlight Express is?
The like they're all on roller skates.
Yeah,
right?
I just thought that was such a specific.
It's a really funny line. Jimmy McGill has this way with words that plenty of other pieces of media fail to do this, but like they make their character very wordy and they constantly make references and use very colourful language, and it often comes off as kind of cringe, like it was written down. with the writers thinking this would sound cool, but they didn't say it out loud before they got the actor to say it out loud, and the actor was like, what is this shit? I guess I'm just going to have to deliver it as if it's natural, and it never sounds natural. Every time that Jimmy says some of this weird shit, it just works.
I just wrote Jimmy and his love of musicals. Starlight Express.
We've got ourselves another gay theory right here.
Yes.
Which I think ties in with the opening sequence where he's working in Cinnabon and a man is staring at him and he looks nervous. If you didn't know that he was like on the run, he would be like, that's gay panic right there.
There's actually a lot of queer iconography in this show, like lots of rainbows and lots of imagery that I will point out.
Oh yeah. Jimmy buying all them colourful suits because he's like...
No, that and Kim putting the colourful post-it notes on the wall, him literally painting a rainbow onto his office wall. We will get into that. That's the only color theory that I've managed to pay attention to.
I'm like, oh, I've figured out several different colours and their subtle meanings within the text, and you're like, did you notice the gay post-its? I'm like, damn, I didn't notice the gay post-its. How did I miss that?
And then I just wrote the nail salon, because Jimmy's office. So yeah, he goes to the
saddest
nail salon.
office in existence.
Yeah, so we find out that the reason he was so keen on Jesse investing in a nail salon is because of his roots with the nail salon. He has a...
Although trivia is that that's not the same nail salon.
I didn't think it was. I just thought it was like him thinking nail salons like deserved.
Yes,
some
he has respect for nail salons and knows that you could maybe Mrs. Nguyen was also laundering money. Who can say? But like, hey, look, cucumber water is expensive.
It is.
She's the fucking master chef of cucumber water.
So we find out he has like his little tiny little office in the back where he has to squeeze into, and you just get a little more insight into how back at bottom of the barrel he is at the moment. And
this scene is
really sad.
Good because it tells you so much about his character and also his financial situation, which I absolutely adore.
Yeah, so then he kind of brings his answering machine onto the desk, and he does like this cute little like magical fingers thing to it.
He's like, come on.
Oh, that made me so sad. And then he presses play. There are no messages, right? From what I can recall.
Yeah, there's no messages.
Yeah. There's no messages on it. And then he checks his mail, or he gets his mail. And
it's literally just all like bills and stuff.
Yeah, except for a check addressed to him, made out to him for $26,000, to which he rips up.
It's just startling, like, to watch that happen.
Yeah, especially because you see all of that, and then you just see him like so angrily rip up this check. So it's perfect storytelling because it's like, why is he ripping up?
I'm immediately intrigued, and it's excellent characterization for how stubborn he is.
So then we go to HHM, Hamlin, and McGill.
Before we do, I've got a quote, which also relates back to his financial situation, from the car crash scene where he says, the only way that entire vehicle is worth $500 is if there's a $300 hooker sitting in it. And that still makes me fucking laugh.
It's so perfect because it kind of makes you do math.
It's the right amount of both sleazy and tragic.
Yeah.
And the wit, wonderful.
It really made me go, like do practice my skills of mental math to work out how poor he is, and I love it. He goes to HHM and just kind of bursts through the doors into the place. I have another note about when he walks into the lobby and he tries to like say hi to people and everyone's like fucking cold to him. He goes up to a guy who's just walking past and he's like, Sir Philip. It's like, hi Jimmy. Looking particularly well groomed today, and the guy just says, okay. Okay. I love it. I love it. It feels like every single like key player is working to make this episode stick out and like really grip wonderful. You into it. Perfect. So he bursts into the meeting room. I suppose that's what it is. And so let me read out what I wrote. I said, Jimmy's speech to Howard and the meeting room lamps are a direct reference to a scene in the film Network, directed by Sidney Lumet. And literally, you know, the like art-shaped
he quotes
lamps?
Network, doesn't he?
Yeah, he quotes it and says, Howard, what does he say? I forgot. I didn't write it down.
And you will atone.
Yes, you will atone. And that's literally word for word, except for he changes the name, obviously. Yeah. And literally, you know how the arch lamps down the center?
Yeah, the little lamps.
In the film, they don't have arch lamps, but they have these like long lamps going down the center of the table. It's like a long table. It's like shot for shot a reference to that movie.
Ooh, right.
Which is nice because those lamps are so nice. And I remember thinking about them
really
later
nice
in
lamps.
the show and being like, wow, the lamps are pretty. This is the first mention of Chuck and Jimmy's relationship with HHM and Howard. So he kind of confronts him about the check to someone named Chuck.
Yeah.
And they have like a very vague conversation about, oh, Chuck can't Chuck can't cash the check, so we made it out to you. And then Jimmy was like, you need to buy him out, or Chuck needs to take the money. Or like, it's a very vague conversation about Jimmy trying to get someone named Chuck to take his part from the company because he had a huge hand in building the firm.
But it is also interesting that this is like the first time we see him like passionately and genuinely like making a case here. And also I really like the bit where he's like, 1/3 of this place is Chuck's. 4 of those chairs, 1 2/3 of these lamps, those Danishes, and Chuck and Howard's like, you can have as many Danishes as you want. And he's like, no, Chuck only wants 2 Danishes.
I love it. I love it.
Perfect illustration of just how fucking done Howard is with him.
Then he ends up kind of leaving in a bit of a huff, and he goes downstairs and he sees the Kettlemans shaking hands with Howard.
Oh man, that hurts, that one.
That made me sad.
Twisting the knife.
For Jimmy.
The real victim here is obviously the bin.
I said Jimmy isn't afraid to express his rage. He doesn't feel pathetic like Walt does. He seems like, I definitely think that, like, when he is like pathetic in the eyes of like all the other characters, but we don't necessarily think that.
There's a drive to Jimmy that Walt doesn't really have when he's just like stood around glum, like on his little fucking walk-in machine, looking at his posters and his nearly got a Nobel Prize shit, and Jimmy's like staring straight ahead like, I have a plan. Yeah,
Jimmy doesn't wallow often.
No.
And his version of even when he's like, I'm just gonna turn back and I'm leaving, never look back. He's doing something. He's always like on a path. You know what I mean? He doesn't like wallow in.
He doesn't want to stay still. Yeah.
So he goes into a room and he kicks a bin around and fucks it up.
And then this is a wonderful shot because we start with just him, like with no sound because it's far out from the car park. Him just kicking the shit out of a bin. We just pull out and we just see like half illuminated in the light, Kim's just quietly smoking. At this point, we don't know what their relationship is, but once he's done kicking the shit out of a bin, he walks out, sees her without a word, leans up against the wall next to her, takes the cigarette out of her hand and has a drag.
Yeah, it's very sweet. And I was like, okay. And I just want to say I love Kim and Jimmy's relationship.
It's one of my favorite relationships on TV.
For lack of a better word, I ship them.
Honestly, it is one of my favorite relationships on TV.
I agree.
It's such a nice and kind of understated in ways of like most relationships. You'll get a lot of sex scenes and romance and kissing and stuff. But in this, they barely even, when they eventually do get together, it's hardly even like stated that they're now a couple.
It feels like a companionship.
Yeah, they just go into it and they're just fucking soulmates or whatever.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, we're introduced to Kim Wexler, attorney at law, HHM. And then, does she say anything? I cannot remember.
I think they briefly talk about some stuff, but I didn't take any notes on it.
Then we cut to Chuck. Jimmy goes to Chuck's house, and I remember watching this and I was like, why is he grounding himself?
Yes, that's one of those things that Vince Gilligan does a lot, where you're given like a slow, no context shot in which what a person is doing looks completely absurd because you have no idea what's going on, and then he like keeps you hanging for like way longer than you want.
Yeah, definitely. And then you're like, I still don't get it.
Yeah, I'm like, and then like, yeah, this is like 3 episodes later, I'm like, oh, so that's why that. Oh, right.
That's so true. That's
how I felt in the scene in Breaking Bad where you're in Mexico and a bunch of people are just like crawling down a road.
I also just want to quickly say that Breaking Bad is so guilty of that, making Mexico yellow. Like
the yellow filter fucking plagues my nightmares. I mean, literally is like, oh, it's yellow. Oh, we're in Mexico. Cheers, man. Literally, like, oh, we go over the border and instantly everything's yellow. It's fucking yellow. Amazing.
But we'll talk about that another time.
Heavy filter. Wonderful. Anyway.
Yeah, so I didn't write that much about this Chuck section. I just wrote about, like, the key elements. Do you remember, like, how we, like, can you help me?
It's quite a low-key scene. I didn't take many notes on a lot of these, like, extended dialogue scenes as much because they're a lot more dense and in-depth than the conversations that people have in the Breaking Bad pilot. And also because I was eating a bagel.
Yeah, they're talking about how Jimmy wants him to buy out.
Yeah, Jimmy wants Chuck to buy out. He thinks Chuck's being taken advantage of.
And
he
Chuck
doesn't
is
believe
Jimmy's
that Chuck is. Oh, Chuck, Jimmy's brother. We sort of fed all of this information very naturally, which I like. Chuck instantly tests him on some Latin law expression, like very Chuck.
Yeah, he does. That is very.
He's like,
Chuck.
You know what that means? You know what that means, Jimmy? Like he's
Magna
like
Carta.
itching for Jimmy to ask about the Magna Carta, and yeah, like Jimmy's broke and he's not satisfied by his pro bono work because he's not making much money, and Chuck doesn't want Jimmy to support him, but Jimmy's going to insist on it. And Chuck doesn't care about money.
That was like, he kind of, was he lying? I don't know what.
I don't know. I still don't know if he actually was broke. But either way, they're not in a great place. Chuck doesn't want to buy out. And then they get more and more tense about, like, Chuck doesn't care much about money because I don't think he really sees the financial burden happening on Jimmy.
No. And he thinks, even if he does, he thinks it's all his fault.
Yeah. And then it kind of reaches this breaking point when now Jimmy's the one who has made the assumption, because then, like, it's like, yeah, you keep saying you're going to go back, but I'm going to get better, and he's fucking upset, and it's really heartbreaking. At this point, you still don't really understand what's wrong with him, what's eating his Gilbert grape, but I don't know who said. I'm sure that was said in something, and I can't remember.
Was it? Have you seen that movie?
No. You know what it was? It was The Tourist. We don't really know what's wrong with Chuck at this point, but it's fucking heart-wrenching to watch that drama.
Should we talk about what is wrong with him? Because I want to say something. So he does. I forgot what the actual condition that he's diagnosed himself with is called, but he has basically a sensitivity to electricity.
Electromagnetic hypersensitivity.
Yeah. So he has a intense hypersensitivity to anything that has a battery, is electronic. I fully thought this was real. Like, I thought that people
I honestly thought it may have been
this.
something like that. I was like, well, I mean, sharks can sense electromagnetism, so maybe some people have this too?
Yeah, I fully
Who
thought
can
it was
say?
real. I didn't doubt it for a second.
I think
wow.
I think it might be a real, like, it might be a real fake illness.
Yeah, I think it might be something that is psychologically, like, I do agree with that. I thought that it was a legitimate physical sensitivity.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so then also Chuck ends this conversation by asking Jimmy not to use his name for his legal practice.
Oh, that one stings.
That made me
He's like,
so
it's a little bit
sad.
Similar.
And Jimmy goes, but it's my name. That's
yeah,
so
he's like, you
sad.
don't want me to use my own name? And he's like, why don't you call yourself like Vanguard Law or something? And he's just like spitting out bollocks that's completely like nothing that is true to Jimmy, as if he might pick that up and distance himself from Chuck. Oof.
Made me really sad.
That
but he
one
goes,
really hurt.
He ends up going to the skate park.
Yes. At which point they turn around and like, how the fuck did you find us? And he's like, we get the wide shot of the skate park. And he's like, spooky, isn't it?
It is good.
And then he
tells him the story.
He gets
of
another
Slip and
great
Jimmy.
speech.
Yeah,
the
it's
Slip
like
and Jimmy speech is
wide
wonderful.
Zooms in, like slowly onto him, and like I cannot tell you what he talks about, but I know that he basically tells his own life.
He
story.
talks about Slip and Jimmy as if he was like the greatest guy ever sometime in the past. Like, he spins a great story and he talks them into it. It's wonderful. I do love his way with words.
Yeah, his true salesman like attitude, and it's satisfying seeing him get what he wants. Like, I don't know why. Whenever Walt gets what he wants, I like feel annoyed. I'm like, no, because it feels like Walt doesn't deserve to outsmart people. You know what I mean?
he often just it's often luck. But yeah, when Jimmy when Jimmy finally gets something, it's like he's much more of a little man. We get a lot more of his trying to do stuff and like trying really hard, and his financial troubles aren't like solely projected onto the burden that his family is and stuff, and his regrets. He doesn't have as many regrets.
No, he doesn't.
For a while, we don't really learn about those regrets. Walt constantly bitches about his regrets, and Jimmy bottles it all up until he has a meltdown at a bingo parlor. But we'll get to that.
Oh, it is good. I can't wait. Basically, Jimmy convinces the twins to help him draw up a scam to get the Kettlemans back into his line of work. Basically,
it's a fun scheme.
Yeah, it is. So, do you want to break down the scheme for me?
Yeah. As he like explains it out to them on the street, really cool, like a heist movie. They're gonna do their "you hit my car" thing. She's gonna panic. They're gonna call him instead of the ambulance. He's gonna pretend that they don't know each other and be like, "I was just in the area." Talk them out of it, and then gracious Mrs. Kettleman would be like, "Is there anything I can do to help? Is there anything I must repay you?" And he's like, "Well, maybe we can look over that legal case again." And then when he gets paid for being their lawyer, he will be able to pay them.
This is what I think Jimmy really underestimated Mrs. Kettleman's pride.
Oh, honestly, I think if they had gotten the right Mercury Sable wagon in medium sandalwood,
Yeah.
then Mrs. Kettleman would not buy it, and she would have called
No,
the police on all of them immediately. Like,
or at best case scenario, she'll do everything, but she won't agree for Jimmy to take on the case.
oh, fuck yeah! Like she's the kind of person who would just take advantage of Jimmy and then leave it because she thinks she deserves it. I love Mrs. Kettleman.
Me too.
I noted down the medium sandalwood thing because both of these TV pilots feature a scene where they're sat in a car watching something and then they argue about what specific color something is.
What?
Which is why Steve Gomez and Jimmy McGill are both gay.
Oh my god, you're so right. Oh, all right. Just yeah. I love that. I think that sound that has no holes in it at all. Kim is the beard. Sorry, Kimmy.
She's the beard. That's why we like basically never see them have sex.
True. Not even phone sex.
Not even phone sex.
Anyway, amazing.
Sorry, I had a second where I was trying to remember if anybody in the Breaking Bad universe has phone sex in the show, and then I was lost there for a second trying to remember if it did happen. I don't think it does.
I'm just reminded of how often Skylar and Walt have sex in Breaking Bad, and how I'm not excited to relive all of it. Yeah, so then we have the scam. So it's kind of going according to plan. Jimmy's waiting outside of the Kettleman's home. And once he sees what's the name of the car again?
The Mercury Sable wagon.
In what color?
In medium sandalwood.
As soon as it pulls away, he calls the twins and says, "Yo, the car's coming
They get
around.
ready.
Be ready."
2 minutes. Yeah. They do it. They pull it off. It's wonderful.
No, this is what I wrote down. The twins follow Jimmy's plan, pulling the usual scam by jumping in front of Mrs. Kettleman's car to extort her for money. Only the driver of the car pulls a hit and run.
You can't see her in the car for like several seconds as the shot dwells on the car behind them.
Then one of the twins says, "Where's her sense of responsibility?"
Oh yeah, I love that. They're so funny. I'm like high-key disappointed that they never show up in the show again. Like, I know they were just some dumb kids who got their legs broken. But like I was honestly expecting like the characters in the pilot to all be like recurring characters. Which is why I was so surprised that we get them for so few episodes. But well,
where's your sense of responsibility?
It's so good. They're such idiots. Like, if there's one like factor of Breaking Bad that I absolutely adore that is missing entirely, I think, from Better Call Saul, is the dipshit stoner kids. Like, we never get to have a Star Trek pie eating contest conversation between the twins. You know what I mean? We never quite get that level of like. Just like some dumb shit that you can really engage yourself with. So
then he says, "Where's her sense of responsibility?" The car takes off and drives away. Jimmy, they then start to tail the car and follow it, and call Jimmy. They tell him they've got that she took off, and then he's like, "Oh, now we can change the plan up, and then this time I can be your lawyer, and then whatever."
Yeah, he sort of changes it on the fly. He thinks of a new idea, and it's really smooth.
Again, showing how good Jimmy is at just like he'll have a moment of panic, and then he'll just hit it up.
He's a smart, practical thinker.
Yeah. Then the twins realize that they don't need Jimmy anymore.
They're like, "Oh wait, yeah. Oh, hey man, we fell into the honeypot." And he's like, "Well, what do we need him for?" And then they just fuck off by themselves and have some of the best and most chaotic dialogue of any TV pilot, which is two kids yelling at an old woman with a language barrier and everything. It's wonderful.
And she just like goes, Like she.
Well, I don't know what's going on. Like, she's worried. She knows that she hit that guy with a car and drove away, but she's like, I'm going to. Usually my problems get solved by my miho, so I'm just
My
gonna
mijo.
like go and get my. I'm just gonna go get my miho and.
What? What's going on? I don't like. It's yeah.
Yeah,
I love her.
she's confused. They're confused. They're still trying to keep up. They're on the offensive, but they don't know what they're doing. It's wonderful. I wrote down the phrase "See, righteous dinero," and he turns to his brother and says, "Dinero means money, right?"
See, righteous dinero. Oh my god. I should have written down some of the lines they say. I just wrote that they hop through her door because that's truly what they do. They just like hobble. They force the entry into her
yeah,
house.
they go in with her in the most like rude and yeah.
Can you explain the ending? Because I can't quite remember what happens until that happens, you know?
Alright, so Jimmy pulls up outside the house. He sees the skateboards, he gets in, he looks in the windows, doesn't see anything. Open up in the name of the law! Or some shit like that, which, in retrospect, not a good idea.
No, not remotely.
He's like, you gotta open this door up right now. He doesn't really explain things, he's just on the offensive as well. Bad move, unfortunately. The door opens, gun right in his face. He gets pulled in. Then, like, the door closes, and then just before it does, out of the door looks
fucking
Tuco Salamanca. The worst guy you could have possibly pulled this stunt on. It feels like a death
sentence.
It's honestly, it's the most, yeah.
It feels, oh my god. And this is the thing. I remember how I told you in the last episode we recorded, I didn't remember anything from Breaking Bad when I watched Better Call Saul, so I didn't know who that was.
But you were just like, who's this guy? Oh, that's the funniest thing ever to be like, Tuco from Breaking Bad shows up and you don't know who he is. It's really funny to me.
No, like, I completely forgot. I'm not even joking. Completely forgot. Because this is the thing. I watched Better Call Saul when I was 19, and I watched Breaking Bad when I was 14. So that's a 5-year gap of just forgetting
that's so
everything.
Good. Also, I mean, we can't lie, he does look older.
Oh yeah. Not as bad as
like,
Aaron Paul and Jesse Plemons do in El Camino, but he's aged significantly. But yeah, when I figured out who that was, definitely it.
That's so funny because that tension moment, like, the boost that you get off knowing who that is, like, it rides on the context and the idea of just being like, who's that guy? It's so good.
And that's the end of the episode.
That is a wrap on Uno. I've just noticed that I never switched off vibrate on my phone.
That's okay.
So good job that I didn't get any notifications this whole time.
It's okay. We're new at this. It's all good.
We're new. All right.
Yeah, that's a wrap on Uno. I loved it. Brilliant. Gripping television.
Honestly, like, and also, like, ends with a cliffhanger as well.
I love it. Do you have any last notes on Uno before we do worst part, best part?
Another note that I sort of brushed over because I forgot I wrote it down, about the color coding, is that although the Kettlemans are both wearing blue in the cafe scene, Betsy Kettleman is wearing a red bracelet, which is, like, in my interpretation, the color of crime and violence.
Crime, you could say, like, bloodshed would be like
I guess, yeah. It's like it's the color you always see, like, the all of the cartel guys wearing all of the time, and
yeah, I guess so. Damn, very good. Should we do worst part, best part?
Sure.
All right. What was your worst part about Uno? And what was your best part about Uno?
I really ought to, like, prepare myself for that question, because I didn't.
You could be super nitpicky and be like, the fucking outfit that Kim wears.
I suppose that might be it, is that we don't really get properly introduced to Kim yet. I know it's mainly Jimmy focused, but we don't really get any women-led storylines in this. We got one scene with Kim, and she's quite passive.
We have the Mrs. Kettleman storyline. I'd argue that's very
shit.
strong.
No, that's true. Never mind. I take that back. Mrs. Kettleman is the Kettlemans is a female-led story, because Craig is just a little bitch, and he's her bitch, and that's the truth. You know what? My least favorite part. Cut all that. My least favorite part is that he's not allowed to drink the cucumber water because he's not a customer. I wanted him to drink it because I'm thirsty, and I want to taste. I want to live vicariously through Jimmy as he drinks the cucumber water, and he's not allowed to.
Have you had it before?
Yes.
What did you think?
I think it was just something at a restaurant. It's nice. I don't fuck with cucumbers, but it really
you don't like
refresh.
Cucumbers?
I do not fuck with cucumbers, man.
I literally will just like take a cucumber out of the fridge, wash it, and just eat it.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else there. Yeah, I don't really fuck cucumbers. I don't really fuck with cucumbers. But it really, like, it adds a great freshness to the water, and I watched something where a guy sings about how many good qualities and health benefits cucumber has, especially if you just, like, put a bit of it in your water, full of electrolytes and shit, man. It's great. And yeah, Mrs. Nguyen deprives him of those electrolytes just because his clients had sex with a head, and she had to find out about it from her cousin.
Yeah.
My favorite part has to be the scene where he's talking about Slip and Jimmy. He's telling that story.
Interesting.
Because it's entertaining, and it's fun. It's like a bit mythologizing, but as well as the fact that it sounds really cool and he's selling this thing, it's tinged with a heavy layer of sadness, because he's clearly so
those are his regrets.
Yeah, those are his regrets. He wishes he could go back to Cicero and relive being Slip and Jimmy, because he remembers being Slip and Jimmy so fondly. Like, he remembers, like, he's saying, Slip and Jimmy walk down, everyone says, all the corner boys say hi to him and give him a high five, and all the girls smile at him. He could do anything, clear all that money, doing his slips. He was the greatest. And now he's living in a fucking office, the back of a nail salon. He's not allowed to drink cucumber water, and his car's shit, and everyone hates him, and he's got a fake assistant, and no one wants him to succeed, and he's just
really
defending...
specific, and he's got dark brown hair.
He's just like, he's got dark brown hair that hasn't been dyed in order to make it look like he's younger.
This is a photo of Bob Odenkirk when he was young, and he's fucking gorgeous. I already think Bob Odenkirk is a good-looking man.
He's got a good face.
But there's this one photo that I'll show you after recording that's so pretty. Anyway, that's your best part, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. It's a good best part.
Hit me with your worst part.
My worst? Probably... This isn't really the worst part because I love that it happens, but I think it's a huge... too easy of a coincidence that there is another... What's the name of the Kettleman's car again?
Another Mercury Sable wagon in medium sandalwood.
Yeah, with a license plate that starts with the number 4.
And
I think that is a huge coincidence.
That is a good point. When a plot is driven by coincidence, it is a bit of a pet hate of mine.
And the only reason why I think that is because that coincidence causes so much shit in the next episode. And then therefore the rest of the show, kind of.
I think it's worth it, not only because it gives you all this fun new stuff, but also because it's one of the few coincidences they rely on in the show, like, to power the plot. Most of them are just, like, things that people do. I watched an analysis about recent Doctor Who, and any Doctor Who watchers might notice that Chris Chibnall's pilot episode has, like, 10 fucking coincidences in it, and basically the characters have almost no control over the plot at all. And once you notice that, you realize why you're so unsatisfied by it.
Yeah, I totally agree that it's such a payoff later, which is why I don't think
It
it's
does,
like
it has
flaw.
a payoff, yeah.
But if I'm gonna pick the worst part, that would probably be it. Also, I think they did a good job at redirecting us, because when Jimmy's talking to the twins and says, "What does the license plate start with?" and then the twins go, 4. It starts with 4. It makes us double check the license plate to check that it starts with 4. But clearly the license plate is different from the other car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it kind of gives us an opportunity to really not be lazy, but we're lazy. So we just look at the number 4 like the twins do.
Yeah. Damn, you're showing me up because I didn't check the license plate at all.
So
you expect me to read?
Probably...
Yeah.
That is probably my worst part.
Okay.
My best part has to be the opening scene of the courthouse, the trial. It has to be that. Especially when I rewatched the first episode for the first time since 2020, I completely forgot about that. I was like, I remember there being a trial. I don't remember what the trial's about. When I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, I am gripped into this show. Also, a kind of minor half best part is Jimmy when he has that little mini cry when he hits the twin with his car. Just that moment where it's like, not today. He's
about to just fucking throw the towel in and just give up, and that's true. They very nearly get him.
Just that. So those are my 1.5 best parts of this episode. I love it. I loved it. I thought it was incredibly well written, and it makes me want to keep watching the show.
But yeah, as you said, like, refined writing and shooting and directing and music choice as well, to Breaking Bad. Last episode we talked a lot about the soundtrack and how they hadn't quite found their footing yet.
Oh yeah, the Door of the Explorer music, wasn't it?
The Door of the Explorer music, like the Spanish guitar when Jesse's breaking out of that house, and like using 3 different existing songs for sequences. I think they only use 1 or maybe 2. I think just 1 in this, just for the start, and they restrain it a bit more as they do later on in Breaking Bad.
Thank you for listening to us talk about Uno. Tune in next week. We had a lot of fun talking about this. Next week we're going to talk about episode 2 of Breaking Bad. I think it's called Cats Out of the Bag. Right. Pretty sure. Cats Out of the Bag. So please feel free to follow our Instagram at Vamonos_podcast, because we post little highlights and snippets of it, and it's just cool.
Sorry, before we go, I can't believe we didn't take the opportunity last week to close off by yelling Vamonos. Isn't that like the most glaringly obvious thing we could have possibly done? And then we just didn't. Like, we could have really capitalized on our brand here.
Wait, doesn't Vamonos mean like, let's go?
I think it's like, well, I don't actually know.
Like, let's go. Like,
I mean, I think it's same as like vamoose, so I guess it means piss off.
No, I think it means like hurry up, let's go. Because Vamonos Pest is like go away pest.
Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's go, pest. Let's go, pet.
You're confused.
Let's get out of here, pests.
Let's get out of here. Should we end it with Vamonos?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
The one last display of glaring ignorance.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Tune in next week. Vamonos.
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 Let's go.
Let's go. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.